What is going on, everybody? And in this video, we're providing a state of the market and stock picks for September 30th, 2022. So that sounds like something you're interested in. Consider subscribing, as I do provide daily and weekly updates to get you prepared for the day and the week ahead in this glorious market. Now, today we made another New Year low in the markets. The market is struggling to hold, and I am very surprised we have not broken yet. I don't know if it's going to be the PCE that's going to push us up or going to break us through. But what I do know is that Europe is currently a hot mess. Like I talked about the other day, they were trying to borrow money essentially for all the massive amount of debt that they've had. And then they come out with a quantitative easing a temporary package yesterday that pushed the market up. That one little green candle you see. And then coming into today, you also have Germany, who has hit a 70-year high in inflation, just past another 2 billion pound for energy energy bill relief package. So in turn, I think that kind of backfired. Maybe they figured that just that news in itself would hold up the market. But the problem is that Europe is getting in such a bad spot that, and this is something we talked about, a black swan event, that I believe in the next couple of weeks, Europe is going to go belly up. And when they do, they're going to take everything down with it. Uh, Again, we can only try to ignore what's going on, but it will do damage to our markets as well. And understand that they do play and have a great influence over our market. And if they go down here in the next couple of weeks, we will go with it. Now, what are we waiting for? Are we waiting for the PCE? Honestly, unless it's really good, I don't think it's really gonna. It could be the one pin that pulls us over. I don't know. My honest opinion, I don't think it has a lot of weight. But right now, we need some sort of push because we are just grinding against this major support, and I don't know how we're holding against it. I guess people are hoping that earnings are good, or the core is better, or potentially that some miracle or hopium is going to come into the market and things are just all of a sudden better. But we are waiting for that one piece of news that's going to sink us. The problem here being is that not just what's going on in Europe, but the housing sector continues to get worse. Inflation is continuing to get bad, and then you have a hurricane that just hit and wiped out uh, Fort Myers and a bunch of areas in Florida. And I mean like wiped out, wiped out. Now supplies are going to go skyrocketing again. All your lumber, electricity, all those things, all your resources that you just came off of uh, having some sort of demand there to actually putting some sort of relief in those commodities are going to pop right back up. And so now, not I don't expect rentals to go down either. That's a problem. And then you had Fed members come on and saying they don't care if a recession happens, the Fed is going to continue to increase rates. There's inflation. It only dropped from 8.5 to 8.3. Again, it's rotating, so you don't know what the next thing's going to be. Now you have a hurricane that just hit. And so now you have to provide resources, a massive amount of demand. And then we haven't even gone through the winter months. We haven't even started. We're just got into the fall. This is the concern. We have earnings. We have another core coming out. We have all these other things that are coming out that aren't going to be any good. And very concerning on how much further we could potentially fall. Like I said, if these black swans start panning out and you get 2 or 3 black swans, black swans back to back, we're going to be in a world of hurt. And you can look in our history and see that we've essentially gone almost straight down. There's been times of recession where we've gone pretty much straight down. And 200 stocks were trading around $20, right? And we're starting to see a lot of that. Tesla, Apple are giving, your safe havens are giving way and falling down. I'm not trying to sell the bear, but I think some people are still can't believe so much in the upside. Yes, at this point, I am biased to the downside because I have never seen so much bad data, bad stuff. Yes, wars kick off. It can temporarily push the market down. Yes, pandemics temporarily push the market down. You're talking about a global depression that just doesn't fix itself overnight. Like there's a lot of bad things that have to happen for this to occur. What we're going through right now, and it was a pandemic that caused supply constraints. The world was shut down, right, for essentially 2 years. And now you play catch up, and then there's a war to kick everything off coming out of the pandemic that put more constraint on oil. And so this isn't going to be quick. We aren't going to see, what we saw the past 2 years. And I hate to really keep reiterating that, but I think some people just think it's going to go right back up, and it's not going to go right back up. We will have spikes like we've had, and then we will continue to grind down until we need to hit that one panic that just really sells the market. And then at that point, I think we can slowly start grinding our way back up. But we haven't seen it yet. All the things I've been talking about to this point, I thought at one point, middle of the summer, I thought we would have had a more bullish upside, but things just kept getting worse. And I started to see it more and more and more that things just weren't going to get better. And so, again, this is the time to build. If you're patient in building positions and really good companies and stuff like that, things will be fine. Things will be great. But right now, things are not good. And you have Europe, who doesn't even have money to put out a package, somehow puts out a package, quantitative easing package, that if they didn't take any action, you would have had pensions and essentially the mortgage companies, they would have all imploded yesterday if they didn't say something. That's how bad the pound was struggling. And so with all that being said, I, again, try not to be bearish, because I think as bearish as I sound, I'm more excited about the potential that is coming. If you understand what I'm saying, is that there is a great opportunity when you have really, 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 really bad markets like this. You have great opportunity if you can be patient in the markets. And so that's why I'm saying, even right now, there's still just too much going on right now to get super excited that's going to flip to the upside. And again, it's not going to be quick. And so I know after this, whatever this happens, if it's Europe that it implodes and causes another 20-30% correction on the general index, then I would be like, that's where we need to be. That one pin, that extra leg, the other foot that needs to drop. At that point, I would feel more confident in the market recovering. The market needs to hit like rock bottom after having 2 crazy years where it just went up. It was just parabolic years. This is the correction that is necessary to essentially finish that cycle. So all the corrections that you normally get in a year, you're getting that because you didn't get it in 2 years. Every year you normally have about a 15% correction roughly. And we didn't get that for 2 years. We just ran. I think we may have corrected up to 12 maybe at one point, but I think it was mostly like around corrections were like 8%. And then we just kept running. Now you're finishing that cycle out. That cycle needs to finish. So you need the purging, that normalizing, and you're getting that right now. And again, I think we need one more strong leg down, And that, again, not financial advice, but that would be my okay. This is as close as we're going to get to bottom. Again, I thought it could be here, but there was just something that was missing. And I think what we need is one of these events to play out that will put us at rock bottom and allow us to start recovering at that point. It's going to be a slow recovery, but we'll get there. Again, I do believe you'll see all-time highs again before the economy is any better. I think the economy is going to be in a depression, but it doesn't mean the market can't go back up and go back to all-time highs. But the thing is, it's not going to be quick. And I think we have to see more pain before we see that turnaround. So nonetheless, I'm going to get off my soapbox here. And technical wise, again, we're watching that 3,600. If this thing breaks, I'm waiting for this to gap down below this. This thing gaps down below 3,600. We are done and we are flushing hard. Watch that. And watch this top zone. This 3722. That's the top zone. If we can't break that, again, if we do break that, again, I think whatever pump we're going to get is going to be our earnings cycle pump, and we're going to hit the top of this trend, and then it will bring us back down. Again, I don't think there's going to be any positive news unless we have incredible earnings that's going to cause us to break out of this trend line. But we'll see. I mean, time will tell, and things can change daily. So not that inflation will go away in a day, but we'll see. Bitcoin, again, holding this level very well because the market itself, it's just like the market. It's holding that level. As soon as the market breaks that level, Bitcoin will break this level and fall just as bad. Depending on if it's the collapse of Europe because of what's going on over there, that will be the downfall of the market and crypto. And they will both come crashing down. And it's going to be a very, very nasty crash at this point. And this is why I'm thinking if it's the bottom of this channel, you're going to get some time underneath the 10K. It's very much a possibility. I was looking at that yesterday. So we'll have to see on that. Tesla got destroyed today, all the way back down to the zone. It needs to hold this 268. Candle opens below this. Again, you got a massive drop here. You got a drop down to the 256. You got some pretty strong support here. If it doesn't break that, again, you got a bigger drop below that to the 221. I think if, again, the market goes ballistic and starts selling, really getting in panic mode, again, like I've said, you'll see this potentially 200 level again. Panic mode, it's hard to tell how far down you can go. So just keep that in mind because what you think it is and what actually can happen are two different things. So BA again flipped and just started selling. I actually thought we would have pumped a little bit, to be honest, today, and it just wasn't enough. The market has got way too much sell pressure. There's way too much bad news, and this is something I keep reiterating. So again, watching the 213 or the 113 and breaks that, at least go down to the hundreds. You start looking at the psychological levels down here. You got a pretty big gap, $13 gap at that point, in my opinion. So then from there, we'll go to the banks. The banks barely holding on. Everything is at support. If you haven't noticed, all things that matter are at same levels. Everything pretty much looks the same, unless it's mid cap, small caps, and they're pretty much all destroyed. So that's why I don't look at them a lot on here until the market cycle changes. And the market cycle isn't going to change, I don't think, this year. I think at some point next year, you'll see a shift in the market cycle in recovery mode at that point. But again, I think we have to see some max pain before we see any kind of shift in recovery. So again, JPM on GS still got quite a ways to drop there. BC just waiting to break like everything else. But that's pretty much what I got. I didn't want to make this video too long. Tomorrow is Friday. It's end of month, so just realize that. There can be some more offloading tomorrow as well to buy in. Maybe that's what we need. We got the PCE in the morning. I think it's at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. If that does kick off, and again, if it's way off of expectation, higher or lower that, I think we'll have more of a move. Right now, we just need something that is bad and it could be the pin that pops this thing and breaks us through the support and continues to make the downfall, or we get some sort of we get into some sort of earnings rally, just waiting for the next core report before we get into earnings mode, or before we actually have earnings. So that is what I got. If you made it this far, I do appreciate you. Go ahead and drop a like, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.